recent years, there has been a shocking increase in drug addiction among young people, often in their teens, who take up the habit without the slightest understanding of the living nightmare they are so unthinkingly walking into. To get the illegal drugs, they are forced to deal with criminals who prey on those least able to defend themselves.
My name is Redman. I own Elevated. I guess now I own 99 pennies. I guess the main point of the interview is just there's a lot of questions surrounding what actually happened here at Elevated, what happened with me. I still get questions now. It's been almost a year since I was arrested for trafficking marijuana. I think the initial report on the news was marijuana, cocaine, guns distributed through the shop. I think that a lot of people know the truth, but there's a lot of people still that have a lot of questions. And then in the end, just kind of let people know where we're headed and how things are going. I definitely want to address the misconceptions. I think it's important for people to know kind of how all this started. When I got out of the military, it's been some years now, 2009 maybe. I had to go back to school, I had to make some decisions on what I was going to do. And got into small amounts of selling marijuana, just as a side thing. Nothing real major. And I guess from there it was just sort of a snowball effect from California, so I kind of had that connection that some people may have not had, and I saw an opportunity. From there, things escalated pretty fast. We went from selling small amounts of marijuana to very, very large amounts of marijuana. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So what happened? Well, on that day, I recently taken a trip to California. I met with people that I normally meet with to purchase what I can consider a relatively small amount of marijuana, and sent it back here. At that time, I was using this shop address. Some things had fell apart with me, and I had to make some changes. Years of doing this kind of work and kind of living two different lives causes a bit of paranoia, and I just, things changed. I got tired, and I used the shop address a few times to have some packages sent here, and it just kind of all came to an end. Yeah, so the box came here one day. I think I knew the day before that things were coming to an end. I was arrested that day for possession of marijuana. I think I was charged with a couple gun charges, and like I said earlier, that I think the initial charge said something about cocaine. None of that was true. I guess that's the point that I'm getting to. None of it was true. I did send a small amount of marijuana through the mail, and had it delivered that day. I knew better. I knew that it was coming to an end, but at the same time, I was tired of doing it. It's hard living two different lives, and I think that's one of the main things that I would like to convey, is that, I ran the shop here, and then I lived this smaller portion of my life. And I was arrested that day, sent to county. I was in county for 3 weeks. First time I've ever been arrested, first time I've ever been in trouble. First time anything like this has ever happened. But after 5 years or so of living a double life, it was finally all over for me. So yeah, things started to change after that. We had to sell the shop. We had to close the shop, so we sold off everything, kind of just waiting to see what was going to happen. Obviously, there was a lot of misconceptions about what actually happened. I've had people approach me and ask me about, I don't know, things that I was involved in, cocaine, and having lots of guns here, and having my employees working for me, And one thing that I can say is that nobody that was associated with the shop at all in the shop ever participated in anything other than what happened here at Elevated, which was the clothing store, the print shop, and the design studio. This was a separate world. Elevated exists as a means to an end for all of that. It was an opportunity for everybody. It was an opportunity for the community and the culture and for artists and for musicians and for everybody. That's why it existed. Currently what's going on, so for the past year, it's been one of the most stressful, agonizing, taxing in every way years that I've ever had in my life, and even through my deployments in the military and any experience that I've ever been through in any one of those years I was deployed. This year has been the hardest because I've seen so many of my business relationships disappear and so many friends go, and my family members kind of finding out who I was and what was going on, and having to apologize to so many people and prove myself and start a new business from nothing. It's been difficult. So what has been happening the past year is me just waiting, a lot of rumors circulating, dealing with people talking about the things that they heard, dealing with friends that are hesitant to interact with me, people's fears, people staying away from me. But there was a lot of people who helped me out too through this whole process. I've definitely been lucky to find out who my real friends were, and they've encouraged me, they've motivated me, they've been there to support me, and that's been great. My initial sentence recommendation was 5 years to life for marijuana, for 13 pounds of marijuana. They were going to put me in prison for life for this. I can't imagine spending 30 years or 40 years in prison over this. So we've decided to plead guilty by recommendation of my attorney and you know, my family. But in the end, we're winding down. My court date is coming up. This is a sentencing hearing. This is the final straw right now. The current situation is that I'm being charged with trafficking marijuana and the Travel Act. Both of these charges carry up to 5-year sentences for each charge. We've worked a deal where by pleading guilty, I'm going to fall into these guidelines. It's a point system, the federal point system that they use. So I'm looking at anywhere from 3 years to 4 years for each charge, but allowed to serve them concurrently, which means I can serve them at the same time. I don't have to do one and then do the other. We get them out of the way at the same time. So I don't know, going in the courtroom tomorrow, I could be, or next week, I'll be looking at whatever this judge decides. It's his choice, it's his decision. I'm optimistic. I know that the best will come out of this, but I don't really know. I don't really know what to expect. I didn't really understand exactly what I was doing. I mean, we know the consequences of our actions through the whole process. We understand that we can get in trouble. I guess the thought the whole time was it's marijuana, it's not that bad, it'll be legal soon. You can't get in that much trouble. But seeing what's actually happened, losing everything, I mean, they've taken everything. I've lost my house, my car, all my money, everything that I've owned, any kind of assets that I've gained through the years of doing this is all gone. And now I'm 30 years old. You know, the last few years of my life have flown by, and I probably, you know, I have some good memories. But it's kind of all for nothing. So I guess the overall message is that none of it has really been worth it. I'm not in a better situation than I was prior to this. I don't have more assets, I don't have more friends, I don't have money stashed away, I don't have anything that I had even at 25 when I thought I was doing so bad, and I thought things were just the worst they could possibly be for me. So I guess I hate to say it like this, but the message through all this is that I can tell you, and the people that trust me, the people that know me, the people that have worked with me, in any regard, know that I am somebody that they can trust, somebody that they can believe. And I can tell you that none of this has been worth it. None of it has been worth it. What I'm looking at tomorrow or next week it has nothing to do with anything that I've done, anything that I can say. It's another man deciding what will happen with the next at least 10 years of my life. Plus all the things that you lose being a felon. You lose so much. And those are the things you think about. To be honest, you think about marijuana and it'll be legal, but none of it will really matter. None of that affects any of this. It could be legal tomorrow, but it still won't affect any of this. So really, it was really all for nothing. I put my family through so much. I've had to ask them for more than I could ever imagine asking anybody for, financially, emotionally. It's insane. It's insane. It's just things that you don't think about when you're young and you're mildly desperate, I suppose, and you have nobody to talk to, and nobody that you feel like nobody that can relate to you. So yeah, going back, I'm not sure what I would have done differently, but I know that I would have made different decisions. If I could talk to me then, I wouldn't suggest that I go down this path. So that being said, me talking to another 25-year-old or 20-year-old in a similar situation that's feeling like they have no opportunities or that they really just don't care, like they have nothing else to lose, just don't do it.
Different.
That's right. Linda says the man who sells them told her they wouldn't hurt it.
For every door that we close, they open a new door to death.
I'm gonna wait because your mom's probably in your class. I need you to be here.
And when it comes to drugs and alcohol, just say no.
Alright, go ahead. Okay. So the courtroom experience was interesting. I knew what to expect with this judge. A lot of rumors circulating about what type of person he was and his view, especially on drug crimes. In my mind, I'm thinking, this is a game. It has to be a game. You know, this is amusement to them. You know, they're viewing this as just a nobody, a nothing. You know, let's see what we can do with his life.